Hey, welcome back. Riggs here with 114 Survival. It's been a little while since I've been able to record, but I've been busy with all sorts of things, and I have lots of different updates to show you, which I think I will do next episode. But I was working on this thing, and I wanted to show you kind of from start to finish a novel concept for me to show a project in its entirety in one episode. But I'm going to go for it. I think we can do it. Are you with me? So any ideas what this is going to be? This is going to be a tree farm. And the idea is that there's going to be a layer of soil right here, of dirt right here on top of the rail carts, or on top of the rails. And there will be a hopper mine cart going back and forth, which will pick up all the drops. But this is actually a fairly simple farm. I know it looks like a lot of rails, but there are easy ways of getting these rails in the early game. So this is kind of an early game farm, believe it or not. So I'll show you kind of the steps along the way, and hopefully by the end of this episode, we will have a functioning tree farm. What do you think? Let's go for it. So let me show you how to get all these rails first, because obviously you're going to need a lot of them. Okay, and to show you how I got so many rails, I'll bring you over to this bamboo farm, which you don't need to to make rails, but I have attached my rail duplication machine to the bamboo pulsar, basically to get a repeating signal to power this thing. But yeah, this is the contraption, and what you need for it obviously are what you see here is a coral fan and some slime blocks. I've shown this before, but it's a really simple little setup, and all you do is, let's see if I can jump over there, and you don't have to stand on top of here because there's the water stream underneath that collects all the rails for you. But you can see in the second bar there, yeah, I'm getting more and more rails each time you power this. It sort of tricks the game into thinking that the rails have popped off, but they also stay there, so you get more and more rails each time you do it. This guy is monitoring my progress. Thank you for standing by, always vigilant. I'll be right with you. But yeah, so that is how you can get a bunch of rails early game. That's how I did it. And I know it's sort of duplication, but I see it as creative use of game mechanics. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So one thing about making this farm is it obviously doesn't have to be this big. If you don't have access to this much powered rail, it could be sort of half and half regular rail and powered rail, and it could also be much smaller. So you can kind of scale it to whatever resources you have. But here's an interesting thing about putting rail line down is I was trying to have it go back and forth this way, but yeah, rail will decide which direction it wants to go. Thank you very much. And it wants to go east-west. So when you put the rail down, it'll do that, which is kind of funny. But the next step is to power this rail. So if you happen to have a whole bunch of redstone, you could use redstone blocks to power the rail, and that'll power out in 8 blocks in each direction. So that's one option. So another less expensive and much more fun method, would be to crawl underneath using this new mechanic, using the trapdoors. You can use one of these to close it down on you and put you into a crawling mode here. And then we can crawl along and do mining in a little one high tunnel, and then just put I have a bigger tunnel underneath. But yeah, then we can just put levers like that, and I can crawl through and power them each individually. And then when we get to the top, those will all be, I turned those off. But yeah, those will all be powered from below when we get up there. So we can see, yeah, I've powered a few of those rails, and I'll go ahead and do that the rest of the way across. So I actually don't advise putting rail on grass, because if in the future, if you're digging around underneath, you might dig up from underneath and ruin the rail. But I'm not sure if I can be bothered to switch it out now. Actually, maybe I will. Yeah, that looks much better. So there we go. Yeah, that way I won't ruin it in the future. It looks much better. All right, thought we'd take a quick peek from up above just to take a look at the progress. And I've been working on a bunch of things here. I have more to show you next time I want to do a raid. I've been sort of preparing a village. This is my wool farm. I'll show you more of that later. Spoilers. But yeah, here's the progress on the tree farm. About halfway done powering all those rails. And yeah, I put it in a place where the grass kind of changes colors. I think that's going to be kind of fun to have that area be the tree farm, so we can kind of enjoy the different shades of the green. But I have to power the other half of these rails, and I'll do that in one sec. Okay, so that's all powered up, and now I just need to head back to get some redstone bits for the collection area. And you have a few different options of how to do that, and of course that sort of depends on how many resources you have, and I can show you a couple of your options. So one simple but expensive option would be to have a whole row of hoppers all feeding into each other, and each time the hopper minecart went over the hopper, it would pick up the items and it would all feed into a chest. And that'd be simple, but you would need a whole bunch of iron, which I don't have quite yet. So I'm going to use this little simple minecart unloader. And the way it works is when a minecart hopper comes in to the station, when it's over the hopper, it'll start draining items out. And as soon as there is an item in the hopper, it will activate this comparator, which will power this block, which will invert this signal, unpowering that block, which will mean that there is no more power going to this powered rail, which will unpower the rail, making the minecart hopper just stay there until it's unloaded. And I think I should be able to demonstrate this by, I'll put just a few blocks. Here we go. There we go. Do a few of these, and there's only 5 slots there. Let's see. I need to power this real quick. So we'll send that up. Give it a boost. Of course not. Oh, I didn't power these rails. Silly me. Let's try that again. Come on, do it. There we go. Okay, so there. It's unloading, and it as soon as it is all done, it will power that rail again. See, there's items draining out of there, and there you go, and off it goes. So that works pretty simply, and I think I have 2 of those stations set up to service this whole area, and I think that should be ample. Okay, so I built 2 of those stations right next to each other, and they will each feed into the same chest, which I don't think will overflow very quickly. So we'll have 2 minecarts, each heading out. One will be going around that way, and the other one will be going over here. And so each of them will service about half the area. And one thing to remember is that minecarts only have 5 inventory slots. So depending on how many different types of trees you are farming, those inventory slots might fill up, because you're going to get leaves, and you're going to get some saplings, and you're going to get logs, obviously, but you also get sticks and maybe apples. So you're going to want to sort of limit it to a few different types of trees, or have more different minecarts servicing the same area. But yeah, that should work, and items will despawn after 5 minutes. So as long as this makes a full lap and picks up items within 5 minutes, should be enough coverage to cover the full area. So I'm going to get the other one set up on the other side, and just make sure it works. Okay, now I have both mine carts going, and I'm just leaving a few items out here to see if they will pick them up within 5 minutes, and just make sure they will load them into the unloader when they go back. So I'm just a little test run before I cover. Oh, don't want to lose my sword. Yeah, a little test run before I cover it all up with dirt, but it looks good. Okay, moment of truth coming into the unloading station with a few blocks in its inventory. Should stop just long enough to unload, hopefully, and then get sent on its way, please. Nice. Perfect. So, I should sleep. But yeah, mobs won't spawn on the rails, which is nice. So we don't have to worry about lighting. But yeah, it looks like it's working, and you can just cover it with dirt now, I think. All right, so I gave it a little border, and I decided I wanted to park the mine carts before I added the dirt. So I unpowered the whole system, so it'll stay there by just turning off that block, and that'll turn it off permanently, or until I turn it back on again. So time for the dirt. All right, here's a bird's eye view partially done. You can see the border I did, which will help me know exactly where to plant the trees so that the drops won't be outside of the collection area, but also did the grass blocks in stripes, so now when I place the dirt down, it will spread faster. This is definitely the most exciting part of the process, by the way. But with that, we are done. Yeah, now we can just sit back and watch the grass grow, but that should be ready for action. Okay, I think we are ready for some testing, I guess. We just have to turn these on. These should get these guys going. Yeah, there we go. And get that one going. And I have some stairs that I've placed out there to be pretend logs and saplings and all that. But yeah, you can start to see them disappear. And I'll wait a minute or two and we'll see them all come back to this unloading station. And hopefully we'll have all the stairs that I put down on the grass and they'll go back into the storage system. And there it is, unloading. The other one just unloaded. I missed it. But yeah, we should have some stairs in there, hopefully. Let's see. Yep, the stairs. And yeah, good to go. I think we're ready for some actual tree planting. One thing I was trying to figure out is, I want more jungle saplings for a future project. And I was thinking that planting them one at a time would get me more leaves per sapling, which would get me more saplings per sapling. But now that I'm looking at it, I think maybe the 2x2s have more leaves, maybe 4 times as many leaves or more than the single ones. I don't know. What do you think? Do you know what I'm trying to say? And the other thing I wanted to show you is I was doing this little design over here with the waterlogged blocks, but I realized that's a terrible idea because water plus minecart rail is sadness. But I thought it looked pretty good, so I might do it anyway. All right. Well, that looks good. That is all done, I think. I don't know what's going on with me. I seem to be stuck here somewhere in between swimming and flying. But other than that, things are good here. And I'm ready to get back to work in my survival world here. I have a lot of big ideas for next time. I have an idea for a pillager raid. And I have a skeleton farm that is going to help me prepare for that. How will a skeleton farm help me prepare for a raid? Well, tune in next time. And I was going to say also, if you have a little water elevator near your farm, it will help you get to the top of any of the taller trees that you plant here. But yeah, that seems to be working. And I hope you found that useful. Yeah, pretty easy, just some simple redstone. If you have more or less resources, this could be expanded or made much smaller. This could be on the top of a building just for one tree at a time if you want. So anyway, hope that was useful. And yeah, I have lots of plans for next time. So hope you guys are doing great. And I'll leave you with the last glimpse of what I've been up to at spawn. And I'll show you more of this next time. But until then, this has been Riggs, and I love you. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.